And we're live. Just, whatever you're gonna say that or whatever shenanigans we're gonna discuss today, and that is um, the decline of garage sales compared to how they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and how it is now. I mean, today in my town, they had a big event of garage sales. They would sell a lot of things. They would sell a lot of whatever tools, um, power tools, um, books, clothes, furniture. Oh my God, furniture! It was a gold mine, but I didn't buy any because of a lot of things. But compare how it was a long time ago. My God, man, you just shake your head. In the early 2000s, there were more garage sales around the state than there are now because of stupid government. You got to pay a fine. You got to do this. You can't just have a garage sale out of nowhere. You have to have a proof or something. Compared to how it was back then, now they're just preventing you from getting rid of all your stuff. They want to keep these companies afloat to, oh, don't sell you stuff, buy new, when you realize a lot of these stores don't exist anymore. uh, Today I had to go to garage sales and to find some things, and I found a very few. I've mostly bought books that were useful. Buying DVDs, I'm not, unless it's educational. I was going to buy one, but it wasn't there. Maybe they'll have it tomorrow, so maybe I'll pass by. But that was one thing. I purchased a lot of things. um, They're not bad. Was gonna buy some tools, but there weren't many available, and they were probably not worth the money because you could just buy them brand new. You could buy them old, but in reality, you don't work in an environment that demands a lot of it. So, oh, if it breaks, I'll just have another one. Come to the point, you could just buy it brand new at Harbor Freight or Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace Hardware or Menards. There is no Menards where I live, nowhere near the where I live. But I would like to go one day and visit, but that'll be later. The thing with garage sales back then was that there was there was more variety in garage sales. There was more furniture, more clothes, more books, more movies, more media consumed, like vinyl records, CD music, or probably even old stuff, computers for God's sakes. I never come across buying an old computer at a flea market. I mean, not at a flea market, at a garage sale. Never. Only once, and this was back in 2012 when I used to live in one part of the city before I moved to the suburbs or some area. And I want to talk about this. It's been a long time since I wanted to talk about that, and it's man, it's a lot of things, man. That was the only time I actually got to see a computer for sale, and it was very old. He was selling me $20, but it was a good thing I didn't buy it because it was not worth it. This was a time this was 2012. Yes, I remember now. This was 2012. I wanted to buy the computer, but it was not worth it because it was old. I'm not sure about computers back then. I had an old E-Machines laptop. Then this was the time before I even had the Asus X55A. So now I have whatever, but compared to a long time ago, my God, man, I was deadlocked. I was stuck, and you know, it's crazy. You're seeing all these things. I mean, the garage sales and whatever. I'm apologizing for the audio cutout. That's, I don't know why it does that. I have to do a lot of changing with the lighting and with the computer settings. But right now, I'm cleaning out everything I got on my computer. I'm gonna freshly reinstall if I can. If not, then I'll just deal with it. But I'm gonna have to save up and buy a new computer. That'll be another time, of course. But right now, back to the story. You know, this arrow is crazy. I mean, I would have, but it didn't happen. Speaking of which, that was the same garage sale that was selling the PlayStation 2, the Slim version, with all the games. Which I remember one of them was SpongeBob, the Jimmy Neutron, and the Very Odd Parents, whatever compilation game. I forgot what it's by BTHQ. I don't even know the game. I'm not gonna search it up, or probably I will. All for $20. $20 for a PS2 Slim with games, and my mother said no. This was asinine, and you wouldn't believe how sad I was. I mean, my cousin had a PS2. I mean, I would have not mind, but with stupid restrictions that these people have, now nobody wants to do anything anymore. They just want to consume their phones. Oh, I'll do something productive. No, that's too much work. But back then it was, man, before smartphones and stuff. I mean, for us in my area, Smartphones didn't become a thing around 2013. That's what I remember. But now it's just a different era. Um, that same year, probably the year prior, we had a garage sale near a corner store near the one of those bodegas or whatever you would like to call it. I'll never forget. They were selling the GameCube with Mario Party. I think it was Mario. I don't remember the exact game. I should have bought the game, but I wasn't allowed. I didn't know the Wii could play GameCube games. That's the biggest mistake I've ever made. I should have known better, but the computer died. How was I supposed to know? And that's one of the lessons I learned. Buy a computer that will last you forever. Do not buy a computer that it's ends up becoming a waste of money. And that's what I want to talk about computers. I'll talk about that later, but we're going to discuss about this. I mean, you could have played that. I think the price was $40 for the whole thing, which was a great idea, great deal. I mean, I could have just bought the games by themselves, but the option wasn't there. You know, family, financial issues, stupid things that still resonate now, but back then it was a different matter. We used to live in the city. My neighbors were very good people. I mean, I love them. Still, no, I know they still live there where I was, but they're good people, man. I really do love them and I respect them too. I mean, my God, man, I have a lot of stories to talk about that, but talk about the things we take for granted. I'll talk about that later as well. But back to the garage sales thingies. With the garage sales, that was one of the best ones. And the earliest one I remember was, I'll never forget, I went to a garage sale around the middle of the rich towns and areas. There was a lot of things, Dr. Seuss books, medals. I probably still have them around here somewhere, but I, it was a different era. It was full of optimism, full of, hey, buddy, you want something? You could take it. You could have it. Now it's just give me more money. It's very sad, man, but it's crazy. And that's one of the eras I remember. And I'll never forget, I went to a rich person's house in the garage sale, and they were selling the Nintendo 64. I think it was a red one with Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Stadium 2. I don't remember, for $20. For just $20. And I'm dead serious, man. I was so sad because I would come to find out that those things sell for like $100, $200. You're like, you got to be kidding me. But back then it was a steal. But back then with money, financial problems, what do you need that for? And it starts to piss you off because the stupid restriction. Now these adults are bitching and moaning. Why don't they do nothing? Well, because you didn't let them do what they wanted. Now they're all complaining about it. How are they going to enjoy themselves? This is just water with ice, but there's barely nothing in here. I'm just surfing because I'm not gonna stand up and get water when I should have bought a pitcher or something. But I'm dead serious. It is crazy, man. Back then it was crazy with these garage sales. I'll never forget. I went one. This was around 2016 when the gaming era was at its peak for me. Before it went downhill by 2019. There was Rainbow Six, which they say that it's a very good game. I never really played it. I have it for PS3. Is it Rainbow Six Vegas? I don't want to look up the names right now. It seems very disrespectful, but that was one of the games. I mean, it was crazy. I played it. It was fun, but it was one of those eras that it was over, man. The gaming thing was not the same as it was back then. Now it's everything boring. And gaming was in itself. I mean, for me, I mean, my life changed when I went to flea markets. I mean, the first time I went to a flea market was in 2014, and after that, I was playing. I was more into computers. I don't think I have a computer spare. My first computer I bought was an iMac G4 from in 2017. I bought an iMac G4 for $17, and it was crazy, man. I mean, it's down in the basement. It got flooded. I don't know if it still works. I don't know, man. I have to replace the battery, but if it's all gunky and stuff, there goes that computer. But they say if the battery dies and it bleeds out, there goes the computer. Which I might as well end up buying a new one. But in the end, it doesn't make any sense anymore if you don't properly know how they do it. I mean, they're perfect. I mean, the rarer ones I want to buy is the 20-inch iMac G4. It's very rare, and I had a chance to buy it, but the second I click on the Facebook Marketplace, it was gone. But in the near future, they're going to be no longer. Nobody really wants them anymore. Eventually, you're going to realize this, that in a few years they're going to be gone. And I have one. I'm going to plan. I might just buy a new one. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. There's still some that are still up there for like 20 years later, but um, things change. I mean, I'm dead serious. I mean, the flea market's a different aspect. You find more freedom. There's more reliability. There's more options over there. But compared to garage sales, you could haggle with people. But in flea markets, good luck with that. No, go away or put that back down. These people just have this mentality, and then later they cry about it that nobody bought. And they said, "Well, you don't haggle. Give me an offer. Well, how much are you selling? Well, I'm selling 14. It's like, give me 10, like $20, $10 cash immediately." And he says, "Yeah, okay." But over there at the flea market, what makes it worse is that at the flea market, most of these things that power tools, most of them were stolen. I had a friend call me one time. He bought a power tool. He buys it, and he's trying to, he was told that one of the guys told me that they were telling the cops that they were buying stuff for you. And he says one of them ratted you out that you bought them. He says, I don't know it was stolen. I thought it was just one of those brand new ones that nobody wants at the factory. He says, no, man, they tried calling me and shit. They're telling me, asking people, have you seen this individual? And it was bad, man. The thing was, he was out of state. He lives in another state next to him. It's a 2-hour drive. And it was crazy, man. He got in trouble. You wouldn't believe it, man. He got in trouble well, he didn't get in trouble. He was just pissed off that people were telling him, man, don't go to the flea market. Don't go to the flea market. They're gonna try to get you. He said, come back next month, and after that, it was over. But back then, man, it was bad. He says, no, man, the vendor was in trouble. All this stuff. It's some shady things that happen in flea markets. But for me, man, when you don't have the cash, the 20 is the highest you'll ever go. I remember buying an old telescope, which I misplaced, but I paid $200 for it. In my eyes, it's a historical artifact. It's precious to me. It's special. There was a guy telling me that everybody just carries $20 bills, and they expect that people are going to pay only like $5, $2, which I understand. But by that point, you should have singles. Do not have a $20 bill. A lot of people don't like giving out change, but compared to that's like 2018. Now this is like 2026. I mean, 2024. This was like a long time ago, and now you just realize times have changed and they're not the same anymore. And now they're just things are different now. I mean, some things just never change. So, I'll never forget. I've gone to different flea markets. There was like 3 I've ever been to, but they've been different. Things change now. Some cities are starting to promote flea markets to pay off their debts or something. I don't know, which is a good idea, but a bad idea as well. You shouldn't be so high on these people. They probably have bills to pay, especially with the economy being all fake and stuff. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, who wants to pay off something that they punish you if you don't pay it off? And who wants to do that? I'm looking at you, the IRS. You're putting penalties on fees that makes no sense. Just give them, but don't give them a penalty. If you charge penalty on the interest on the penalty, no, don't do it. It's not good at all. But I'm telling you, that's one of the things I want to talk about. Is just these stupid restrictions that people put on, and then they cry about it that nobody wants to do anything anymore. That's the sad sense of a lot of things. I mean, I want to talk about something real much, and that is let's talk about the computers first, and then in this era, I am not sure about computers, and this is going back to the iMac G4. You have to find a purpose of using an old technology. You have to find a purpose of finding a reason to do so. I mean, there's the reason why the YouTube thing is still available, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, which actually was a stupid name. I don't know what they would call that. That's another name for something else. I mean, Twitter was just fine. You could have called it Red Twitter or something, or Black Twitter, or Blue. I mean, oh wait, Twitter's already blue. Excuse me. But it's crazy, man. They do stupid things like this, and then just social media. I remember when we had Kick and Vine, but oh man, it's a tragedy, man. You find out Vine was exactly like TikTok, but my goodness, man, it's sad. I guess let's talk about the tragedies of a lot of things. But back to the computers, you have to find a purpose, man. I know a friend of mine who still uses a computer from 2006. It has Windows XP, but he says, no, man, it has a lot of documents from my company, has files, documents, and I back them up every week. If it fails, I could just clone it to another hard drive and put it into another computer. I mean, it still has documents from like 2004. I mean, he worked with his father. It's crazy. He's like, whoa. He says, that's impressive. But he told me sometimes you have to stick with it and you can't really upgrade. One time I tried upgrading all the government, not government files, the city files or whatever. He was doing something for development. Things were different back then. And now It's crazy. But same with me. Because I showed him the iMac G4. It was a college from Bloomfield. It was a Bloomfield college before they were. I don't know if they're still around. I gotta check it out. Hold on, give me a sec. Actually, this time I'm gonna actually hold on. I'm gonna put it in a separate window. Okay. Oh, it's still moving. Okay. Let's see. Oh my God, it's not there no more. Oh no. Oh no, I didn't even look at IT. Oh, they changed the name. Oh, it was one of those colleges that are very prestigious, and they got rid of it. Yeah, yeah. This was an era. Things change. I mean, yeah, it was that one of those colleges. $17. It's about Photoshop. So you better be backing up those files because if you don't, you're gonna lose everything. And now with this era, people are making Photoshop for free on with the old whatever hoo ha activation codes. You could use any Mac from that era and put Photoshop. You have nothing to worry about. And it's crazy. It's crazy, man. And times have changed. I had so much things to do, and I never did it because of my voice or my confidence or nothing. I don't want to be those people who become obnoxious when they get older. It's sad, man. You see a lot of people become obnoxious. They're not great to watch. It's like, oh my god, what did he turn into? I mean, I didn't want to do that. So I just said I waited it out. But again, it was a bad era. I mean, but I was still too young. I mean, the creepypasta era. I mean, started in 2010. I was way young for that to read. You know how funny it would be reading a creepypasta and singing in a low pitched voice. Squidward suicide. It'd be funny saying that. I mean, it's crazy, but now I know the things. It's just I haven't done anything about it. But it would have been funny, but never done it. Computer died, by the way, so that's why it died in 2012. No, it died in 2011. The battery wouldn't just charge. The battery died. I made a mistake. Should have bought an extra pair of batteries. I guarantee that computer would have made me something, and I didn't think. But again, I don't even know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. This was a long time ago. But it's a tragedy. Um, Same with computers. I mean, buy one that it's like top of the line that you're not going to upgrade for the next 10 years. That's a mistake I made. I bought this computer for 150 and it's already old. This thing's already almost 7 years old, I believe, and it's not going to go any better. It's going to get worse and worse. At the end of the year, it's going to get worse and worse, especially with Macs. You may buy a 2018 Mac and it's no longer works, and I could have upgraded it, but the damn thing is so slow and sluggish. I don't know why Apple gimped it, but I mean, I'm not interested in getting it. I mean, if I was going to buy a Mac, I would buy a brand new Mac. But because of these stupid nonsenses, I mean, you could buy a new one. They're still useful, but do not buy one that's not going to last you that long. And I have a lot of Macs that are no longer up to date, and I shouldn't be using them online, but I'll learn that about that later. You got to find a purpose, as I was saying, Photoshop, Dreamweaver. I know most of these things. This was back in high school. Had all these programs, never used them, but back then it was a different era. Now it's just it's crazy. I was gonna do audiobooks and stuff. I had the microphone. I have this microphone from like 7 years, from 10 years ago. I bought a new microphone. The damn thing failed on me. I could have just switched it out. I was so pissed. I spent $200. Thing didn't work on it. It failed. I was so angry, man. This was terrible. But now it's just something. As I was saying, a lot of these things are not the same as they were back then. I mean, oof. I'm not sure what else I was gonna say. I mean, I know the shaving the beard. I'm gonna shave this. I was supposed to go to a party today, and I asked him what time was it gonna start, and I never got an answer back. So I said, you know what, forget it. I'm not gonna go. Do I feel bad about it? Not really. I mean, people have their. I mean, I guarantee the guy didn't even want me to come. I mean, let's be honest here, man. There's no point. If they don't ask you from time to time, that's a sign they don't want you to go. I mean, I told a friend of mine, they don't. It's fine by me. I mean, I didn't go to church last week. Perhaps it was the reason why, but nah, man, they didn't come back till. No, they didn't come back till the next day. I said it was crazy, but they missed church. This is how it was. It was fine. How come you didn't come? Didn't have the time. He said, nah, it was already too late. I was tired, and I said, some people, these are the problem with these people. I don't want to be hasty, but I was unprepared, and I didn't want to stay there for another 7 hours. I asked for the timing because it ends till 7. Oh, I'll be there at 5. Then it wasn't gonna work out. And I told a friend, my wife, yeah, if we end up broken like you, no, thank you. You know these people. I'll talk about that later. That's another different story. But I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm gonna have to get a haircut later after Halloween. I'm gonna get a haircut, guaranteed. You want to know why I grew out the hair? Because I want to look cool. I'm just kidding. That would be dumb. I'm just letting it grow. Look at me. Look at my hair. I see all these people trying to be somebody. Like, imagine this is my model hair. Yo, what's good, man? What's good? What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? You have this gorgeous hair. You're reggae or something. It's just regular. So look at me. My hair could grow this long, like one of those people. Oh, my hair blonde. No, I'm gonna get a haircut next month, October, because it's time. And besides, it's already getting a little irritating of having this thing and then scratching and But the beard guaranteed, and by October I'm gonna shave. After the tomorrow, I mean I'm gonna shave the beard and the mustache, and I'll look way more younger. So and I gotta lose weight in it. And I forgot what I was gonna talk about the other sentence. I'm not gonna stop and say, well, "What did I say?" He says, "No, it isn't gonna work that way." Nope. That's the thing. So, well, oh yeah, the other thing was I was gonna say the college thing. No, I didn't go to college. There's no point of going to college. It was a waste. If you're not sociable or you're not very, I'm not sociable. I didn't say that. I mean, I'm not unsociable. I'm just not really open. Like, hey, how are you? People are so deceptive. That's why I don't go because people are two-faced or three-faced. They're people just like being what they can be or whatever suits them. And what makes it worse is that when it comes to real problems, they try to avoid you. They try to ignore you, and you realize these people are very unreliable. And this is I seen it in high school, man. A lot of these people try to be your friend only when it backfires on something, and they just unfriend you or do something. Those people have their own problems too. I mean, I had a friend tell me one time that, hey, did you hear what happened about that guy? He got in a car accident. He's crazy, man. He says, well, he deserved it because that guy stole a car. He stole my car one time, and he never gave it back till I had to call the cops on him. I said, my God, what a disaster. It's crazy. You know, you wouldn't believe it. I was going to mention something. I forgot. Man, you see, this is the problem. I didn't write down the notes. Got to go back to brain restoring. I got to drink more water now. I got to stop drinking these things. These things are not good at all, man. These things choke you up. Now I remember I was going to talk about my back problems. In the summer of 2020, I mishandled a maul and a heavy hammer, and I dislocated my back, and I didn't heal it properly because you're supposed to be stretching every day for the rest of the year, and I didn't do that, and I just made it worse because I gained so much weight because the heaviness and it wasn't healing properly. So it's like an engine just doing this, that, and I couldn't do it. It was crazy, man. I didn't do it. It still hurts. It hurts less. You want to know what was the culprit right now? There's a reason why I haven't been on the computer in a while. It's because the chair was the culprit. I'm using not this chair, the one I had prior to it. I just realizing this is so uncomfortable. I get a higher end chair. I use this cheap chair I was gifted by a friend, or no, it was a friend who gave me the chair, and I feel just fine. Turns out the body, you grouch like this. If you buy a chair so low enough, you're forced to stand up like this. That's what I learned. So you have to sit properly. You could use a swivel chair, but usually a friend of mine told me buy one that you could reach up. You're doing this. He says people do this in prison because they have to protect food. But the reason why people do this is because they're back support. And he says the muscles aren't as strong, so you're putting the pressure into the bones. And he says people don't want to talk about that. I don't know why. So that's why I have to get back to hitting the gym. I haven't even touched a weight for a whole month for 4 years. I only touched it once a week, and then I end up won't be able to do that. I have to do it tonight, by the way, because if I don't do it tomorrow, if I do it tomorrow, I'm going to be aching the next day. So there's a reason why a lot of people don't want to do it. You should train or exercise the day before you have your break, because the next day you'll feel much better. So what I have to do is I have to exercise, do that. And I'm going to do before and after. I'm going to try to do a little persona. Let's see if this works. I don't think it will, but we will see. And that is exercising, getting into those TikTok things. Oh my God, I'm a male model. I'm famous. Those people who are fucking weirdos who think it's funny, but later when they come to real world situations, oh no, leave me the fuck alone. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Um, People are like that. People are frauds, frankly, and there's a lot of people who are genuinely trying to do their best. People who are authentically, are being. I mean, people who are truly are really trying to be authentic. I should probably write that. Truly is a new word. Truly, people who are truly trying, truly trying or whatever. But it's funny, man. But some people just being fake. I mean, same with social media. I mean, I have some friends back there. Chat them up, and they just say nothing or "Who the fuck are you?" And you're like, "You gotta be shitting me!" And we were like best pals in high school. We made fun, and now you're just being a dick. And as friends, people's friend. And that's what happened to me, man. A friend of mine just bounced because of bad influence, and it's very sad, man. Because I know him personally. I met his family. They're good people. Man, what a tragedy, man. But I probably in the future we'll meet together. Sometimes you'll never know. I met a friend from 10 years ago, and they said, "Oh, how you doing, man? It's been a while." I chat them up from time to time, but it's crazy. It really is. It really is crazy because now you just you think you do that. I mean, shaving the beard. I mean, I gained a lot of weight during that incident, and I'm gonna make a video about it, saying I have a theory that if you don't strengthen your back, your muscle's gonna start chewing on the muscle. That's a joke. I mean, your muscle's gonna chew muscles. Your body's gonna start chewing on energies, and it's the truth. I mean, let's be honest, man. It has to take it slow and steady. Like I had a friend tell me one time, if you're gonna do a project, if you're so anxious to get it done, do something else and think about that, and you'll end up doing it. It's like worry about A, but do B on the side, because when now you get to B, it's already done because you were so focused on it. But you duke it out one at a time, and then you finish it, and then there you go. That's the same with exercise. People are trying to be male models or acting. There's some people who are trying to be in the auditioning. I mean, I had a friend tell me one time, "Oh, I got asked to do that. I didn't even have to go to audition. They just said whatever my lines. How are you? You got the gig." And haven't seen him in a while, but he's doing his own gig. I'm not gonna bother him. What do you think I am? So I'm like, "Oh, hey man, how are you?" No man, the guy's busy. Last time I met him, he was so stressed out. Oh, I guess I shouldn't be calling him that much, and I didn't. Then he calls me. Why haven't you calling me? Because man, you look busy. You look tired. I don't want to stress you out even more. No, no, it's just the job. It's just the job. Guy gained a lot of weight drinking too many, not this, but too many other things. I didn't go. I said, no, man, it was bad. It's crazy, man. But things like that change a lot. I mean, with the live streaming here on this channel, man, this channel is really old. I mean, it was started in 2017 because some nonsense with the original guy on the original account. I'll talk about that later. But life is very different how it was 10 years ago, and as for me, the things change a lot, and what stresses you out really does age you out. Age is just a myth. I mean, think about it. Age isn't really there to anger you, but if people make it worse for you, I mean, it's sad, man. If people literally screw other people and they think it's okay, when in reality they just ruin it for themselves because now you become a headache. I mean, who wants to do with somebody who doesn't care about their own things? I mean, who wants to do with someone who doesn't care about what others feel? I mean, you might say, what are you doing here then? And then favors, like I'll give you an example. You let someone borrow a vehicle, they don't care about it, and then what happens? It's crazy, man. It's a lot of things. But it's because we're getting sleepy. I guess I gotta end this thread here. I gotta go nap and chat, whatever. When everything was well. I want to talk about that. I'm very thankful you watched this. It was very short and sweet. Very few things I want to talk about before I leave. As for the main channel, making the TF2 video, it's gonna take a while. I'll probably release it till October. Things have changed for a while. Scheduling was bad because of the computer issues. The audiobooks from the other main channel, I'm not going to use AI for that reason. I'll make a video about that later. But I'm going to use my voice to practice my speech because people are like, what does that mean? You'll learn about it when I talk about it in the video in that channel. As for the other channels, you'll see me what I'm talking about, bud. That's what I mean to do. And, this is the last video for the year, and probably this will be the last year I'll even have a full beard with a mustache. I had a friend tell me that he needed a favor with a film or something for college. I mean, he said grow out your hair, but for the mustache, try to get used to it without it. I mean, I said sure. So I'm gonna leave the mustache till October, and I'm gonna cut the beard tonight. And I'm gonna keep it shaved clean because time flies. As for the audiobook channel, I have a lot of books I want to talk about, so I'm gonna practice. Gonna get my microphone and I'm gonna start reading it. I'm gonna do one chapter per night with one of the books, so I'm gonna practice with one of them. If I don't like it, I'll just make a new one in the next year or something, oh, it's been revised. But if you like the old style, I have a lot of things to do. So so thank you very much for watching or listening. If I guarantee there's nobody that says zero right there, but it don't bother me. It don't bother me. It's gonna take it slow and steady. But so take it easy, take care, and have a good one, and have a good night. Au revoir.